Right folks, very difficult timber frame this one. I'm just going to show you. This is one of the really hard ones that we get, where you can't really do too much invasive work. You're doing a survey and you look at the frame and you think, okay, something's going wrong. You can see here that the base of the frame is all cement, and you can hear the hollow cement everywhere. We've got what appear to be framing members, which obviously don't sound very happy. Now what I'm doing is trying to do this unobtrusively. I'm just sort of sticking things in the gunk that's smeared all over the frame. And here we've got another framing member which it appears to be possibly original, I don't know. There's so much rubbish on the frame that I can't work out, but this is the sort of problem you come up with. Big penknife blade, and just pushed into a gap, and it's gone completely through the timber. There's nothing there. There is, you know, the bottom of the timber is gone. There's nothing at all. So, what do we advise somebody? As you look and you know that every single piece of timber is the same. Look at this, it's just thick coats of, I don't know, silicon, gunk, rubbish. There's no pegs, there's no connection here. You look up to the next joint. No pegging, no connection. What are these infills? I don't know. If I get the hammer, it doesn't sound very nice, does it? That's all loose and hollow. And then the end just sticking out. There's no pegs, no connection. No pegs, no connection. And quite what all this is, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. It's probably one of the harder frames I've had to look at for a while. If you look at the top of that piece, you will notice, I think, that everything's just, I'll try and zoom in a bit. There you go. It's just swinging around in the wind. And if you come down to the next junction, what the heck is going on there? I do not know. But my advice to the buyers is going to be along the lines of, you need to take extreme care with this, because I don't think there's much left of anything. And I think it's an extreme case of budget builder. I really don't know what's going on here. I think this piece of wood is just a plank, and I suspect it's just planked on. It's got, if you notice the patterning on it, those are the marks made by a bandsaw out of a timber mill. This is not hand sawn, pit sawn timber. So I think somebody's actually put a plank of timber on here. There may be a bit of timber underneath it. In fact, I've just been inside in this room inside, and there is definitely old timber on the inside. So I think they put a plank on it, and the old timber inside is rotten. So I'm going to stop here, and I'll add a bit to this in a while. This is a real forensic investigation, but with a building like this, you've got to turn around to a buyer and say, you know what, with great care, because you could probably spend 100,000 on this front elevation, the way I'm thinking at the moment. So I'll add a bit more to this in a bit. I'm adding a bit here. What I've done is to have a look at these cracks. I think somebody's actually planked. If you can see here, there's like a plank that's been put on the front of the corner post. I don't even know if there's an original corner post in here, but there's definitely a plank on the front. and then there seems to be a plank on the side. I cut a bit of a hole in this plastic rubber gunk, God knows what it is, that's been plastered over the front of this, but it's just to give you an idea. The if we turn this on, you might be able to see this. The reading on it, 24 degrees temperature, but the relative humidity is 96.4, and the total moisture content nearly 21 grams per cube. In other words, it's sopping wet inside that, and the timber is indeed rotten. I mean, this is a thermohygrometer probe just pushed into rotting timber, so it's not very good at all. And that's the same thing down the bottom. You can see I've lifted some of the gunk that's plastered all over it. This is some sort of coating plastic, and it's rotten as a pear underneath it. And some idiot has done, I don't know what, I can't work out what this is. It's some sort of timber frame, excuse me, repair, but I don't know what they've done. It's all concrete and cement with timber, but I don't even understand whether this timber is planks or whether it's pieces of wood, real pieces of wood. I don't know. I can't tell you at the moment. Again, this is the bottom of that corner post I was talking about, and you can see how somebody'd even put in, or tried to put in, a little piece. So they've got a plank on here, and then they put yet another plank on the bottom. It's quite amazing. I've got a probe again and a crack in this plastic gunk, and just to give you an idea, the readings there, the light's a bit funny down here, but the reading is 98% relative humidity and 21.5 grams per cube. In other words, it's absolutely sopping wet in there, and it's rotting. There's bits of rotten timber falling out of here. It's just silly. The whole base of it's just completely gone. And again, just systematically moving along this wall, another tiny hole and another probe, and this one we're in. As you can see, the probe is quite long. It's nearly a foot long, but it's right into the base of the wall, under the bottom of that timber. And we've got on the thing here 77% relative humidity and about 14 grams. Now 75% relative is about the kick-off point for rot in timber. If timber is, you know, if it's saturated at 75%, it's going to rot, and you'll get beetle and all sorts in it. Well, that probe is right in the middle of rotten timber. I mean, you can just keep pushing it into rotted timber. There's nothing left under this lot at all, and the probe it's still going up. It's just changed here to 77.5, so it's just slowly climbing. So yeah, rotten as a pear. Not looking good with this frame at all. Not good at all. Well, I think I've worked out roughly what they're doing here. We come to the far corner here and found yet more issues. And what I've done, I've stuck a penknife in here and discovered that, quite apart from being completely rotten, if you shine a light, you probably won't see this with the video camera. You'll take it for granted, but behind here is a completely rotten original timber frame member. And I think what's been done, people have come along here and they have literally built out the front of the frame to make it look pretty with bits of wood, without trying to do anything to actually fix the actual issues and problems with the frame. So all of this is just little bits of wood nailed on, just planked on over the front of the frame. It's shocking. And I just found something else. I don't know what's going on here, but kind of newly painted downpipe, and look, a little bit of the downpipe, and this stuff stuck around it. So I think all of the downpipes, the rainwater pipes, were probably blocked, and I suspect somebody's come along and they've actually cut holes in here and just literally cut bits out of the downpipes. It's mega. I've never seen anything like this, but you could not recommend anyone to buy this place. everything is completely rotten. That's all cement render, and we're just testing here another completely rotten joint. Obviously you can see the probe in there. What have we got here? A reading of 70%, or still going up, 70.2 RH, and 13 grams per cube, so it's wet and it's rotting. Oh dear, don't know what to do here, but you certainly wouldn't want someone to buy this, given what's going on. Heaven alone knows what's going in there. It's just a piece of twisted timber with cement stuck under the bottom of it. It's horrific. So we've now come inside, and what I'm looking at here is the base of a timber frame internally. And obviously, if you look here, it's very difficult to really get too much information. You know, we're trying to do a survey in a house where we can't really do too much, but you'll see that there appears to be, it's all painted black. It makes it very difficult. There's a lot of stuff, gunk, cement. It's all cement, but there's a bit of a hole here. I don't know whether you can see in there, that brown colour is just rotting timber. And so what I've got at the moment is a probe. You can just see the probe there going in, and that's stuck in that mess. And I think you can see here it's still going up, but nearly 20 degrees, 95% relative humidity, 16 grams total. So it's sopping wet in there. It's just rotting, utterly rotten. And you can blame most of this on cement. So we'll have to look more and we'll find more, but I can't recommend anybody buy this place. And just continuing on this theme, this is, we've got a long probe here. You can see the length of it. It's nearly a foot long. I'm putting that probe in. It's just, that's it. There's just nothing there. The whole house is just standing on a sill beam that doesn't exist. We'll record that one, but I think you can see already it's shot up to 92% and a total of 16.3 and climbing. I mean, it's just off the scale. Everything is rotten. So I'll leave that to settle and we'll get a final reading, but yeah, I can't let clients buy a place like this. No way. It probably cost, I would think, the entire whole new frame here, I think you're probably looking at about 40,000, something like that. Probably more, actually. A lot of work here.